hardest, but we're still going to fail. That's not the right approach. Leave that up to God. What we are supposed to say is, if they aren't even equipped to do anything, we have to try extra hard. When we do that, we can't really compensate, but it is supposed to generate greater commitment on our part, and that could have a real effect. And he says the first example is Avraham Avinu. Says in Pirkei Avos it says that there were 10 generations, and Avraham Avinu came, took the reward for all of them. What does that mean? Rabbeinu Yonah said he compares it to a king where there was a rebellion, and he goes driven out. And one servant remained loyal, and that servant did everything he could because he saw him the only one who's still loyal to the king. And what does that mean? He's going to make up for the 2 million citizens who are all rebelling? No. But every one of those 2 million citizens who's rebelling generates a deeper commitment on the part of the servant to do what he can. And the king has that much more love for the servant who is doing his best. And that's what it means. How Hashem divvies up the reward, I don't know. But that's Avraham Avinu did that. He did. The reason he was so great was because he saw that nobody else was doing what I'm doing. So we're supposed to use that to motivate ourselves. Again, there's only so many pennies you can get to tzedakah, and only so many hours you can study. But in terms of the intensity, how committed you are, we're supposed to deepen our commitment. That's what it should do for us. We should say, oh no, if there were 16 million Jews who are all studying Torah, but there aren't, so I gotta be more committed on my own. And then let us worry about the rest of it.
Yeah, but we're coming down to if one person can influence to the good like Abraham, and one person can influence so greatly as in Russia, like Torah, but now you had here 10 people who had this madrega that is like one huge powerful, clear kedusha, whatever. Then how?
Why didn't they influence people?
That they emphasized it, so they kind of succumb to that
right.
Because they emphasize. I don't understand how that, like I said, like the Kira people, all these, all the doling now, whatever. That's just saying about the level of, where we stand now. We're not, the Gedolim, they don't.
Well, look, you're not doomed. Nobody, they had free will also. No one's saying that you're doomed to succumb to the influence of others. You have to be aware of the danger of it and resist it. And you're not absolved from really.
It sounds like it was just so much easier. Like they just did.
It happened very quickly, and it was subconscious, but they were still held accountable. They could have avoided it. That's the bottom line. They wouldn't have been held accountable if it wasn't their choice. So.
Somebody also have some fear of losing their leadership.
There was a medrash about some quote that they were afraid. Again, that was also probably subconscious. They were afraid that if the Jews entered the land of Israel, they would lose their position.
That's more of a proof that they weren't.
But we don't know which came first, the interest, their fear of losing the position, or their fears in general, based on their constituents.
Well, Rav Shirelli I don't know if he has a source for it, but he has an interesting take. He says the fear was really, it was a spiritual fear, because in the desert they were disconnected from society, they were spiritually living, and in Israel they have to become farmers and warriors, and what they were really afraid of, they wouldn't be able to maintain their spiritual level with all those temptations of being involved in the physical world. It's interesting. Yeah.
To this day, living in Eastern North Portland.
I was thinking it's like the fragility to make it, but don't be confident until they.
Yeah, well, he actually quotes that in the same piece. He mentions that. He quotes that exact. Don't be confident until the day of your death. Nobody is immune. That's really the point. Okay. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Rabbi.